Julia's going to make a couple of announcements, and we're so excited that she worked this out that we could come here. She's a lady who has worked for a lot of organizations and has a heart about Indianapolis, and so we can't wait to hear from her. So this is Julia. Thank you.
Before my time here at Indiana Sports Corp, I worked at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as well as the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Both of those roles were premium services focused, so we had suite holders, seasonal ticket holders. I was responsible for delivering on all of their contracts that the sales guys would promise, and I made it happen. And then when I moved back here in January of 2022, I took some time off, did some contracted work around the country, and then I joined Sports Corp in May 2022. So I've been here for about a year and a half or so, and I feel like we're making some really good progress with the volunteer program, and I'm excited to show that off to you today. So. All right, so for Indiana Sports Corp, I wanted to just briefly go over our mission. There's a lot to it, so over the course of the presentation, we'll break it out into different categories. But essentially, our focus is to create positive impact by hosting world-class sporting events, which drive economic impact, facilitate a vibrant community with civic pride, garner national and international media attention, and create opportunities for our youth. So there's a lot there, but one of our primary focuses with every event that we host is the economic impact that we have on the community. So there's a lot of numbers here. I'll just briefly go over, and so you can skim over the facts there. But we've hosted 450 plus national and international events, which have led to more than $4 billion in direct spending. So that's anything from Fan Fest to actual ticket sales with the game or the meet or whatever it may be. We've also compelled 10 elite national sporting organizations, including the NCAA, to relocate to Indianapolis. So just by doing that, we've contributed to approximately $91 million annually to our local economy. We've also just touched on the Super Bowl in 2012, how much direct impact that had on our economy, as well as all of the Big Ten men's and women's championships that we've hosted, specifically the basketball tournaments, and what money that's generated from visitor spending. Another key focus, and this is something I'm not sure many people are aware of, how important the youth programs are to our mission. And these programs are clinics focused on the skills and drills and teaching young people the importance of living a healthy lifestyle. So a part of this program is distributing donated product, equipment, and then also just making them aware of how to live a healthier life. So through these programs, we've distributed more than $1.9 million to 220 youth-serving organizations. These programs also do look for volunteers. So I heard a couple of times volunteering for sporting events may not be your jam, but this is another opportunity, a different avenue to go down in case you're interested. In our annual golf outing, which is traditionally scheduled for June, that also goes towards our youth-serving organizations, and that's contributed up near $6.5 million. So we've continued to host that. It's a really fun event, and there's also volunteer opportunities for that one too. It's one of the grassroots events that we host, so very different than some of the large-scale ones, I would say. So I also wanted to cover how we do what we do. We are a sports commission. We are the first and the largest in the country, which is something people are very shocked to hear when they think of Indianapolis, but we do our best to bring all of the biggest events to Indy, again, to facilitate a really vibrant economic impact here. And we do that by scouting out what events we want to bring to Indianapolis. So we create these hundreds of pages of a bid, so everything from what they can expect from a fan fest to the actual event, what the structure of the venue would look like. Anything that affects the event is detailed to the max in these bids. We compose those, send them off to the rights holders. The rights holders could be NCAA, Big Ten, the NFL, whatever it may be. It's just the big head honcho of the event that we're sending those to. We're also creating partnerships on a daily basis. So we can't do what we do without our venue contacts, Downtown Indy, Visit Indy, anyone that has any hand in the tourism aspect of Indianapolis. We're developing a relationship with them. We're also working with the rights holders who are not located in Indianapolis, making sure that they're educated on what we're up to. So it is more enticing for them to first look at the bid, but hopefully also approve it and move forward with executing in the city. Once we do get a bid approved, then we start the planning process. So our team plus our local organizing committees, which are essentially just these big departments of volunteers that help us with the entire planning process leading up to an event. They also help us execute. So on site, you'll not only see our staff, but it's also the local organizing committee teammates and our volunteers who plan, organize, and do it from start to finish, anywhere it may be. So I like to say you can't have your how without your why. So I detailed out 4 key areas of focus as our why. We want to elevate our city, put it on the map, show off what we can do successfully. As mentioned in our mission, we do that both nationally and internationally because media want to come and see what's going on. And every time we do it better, they want to keep coming back, and we want to keep doing it bigger. So we also, in doing so, have a greater impact. And we're going to keep drilling in on the economic impact, but it just supports our hotels, restaurants, and other businesses that we're trying to support in the downtown area. Also giving back, that goes into the youth programming components that I've covered already, but also giving out free tickets to local nonprofits or finding other ways to support other organizations outside of just us and the rights holders. Just so that they know that we're not forgetting about them. And then finally, fundraising. So I sort of touched on our golf outing, but we do have 5 core fundraisers throughout the year. That includes our golf tournament, corporate challenge, which is a big corporate field day, our Indy Ultimate, which was just hosted last month, and then we have the Indy Classic, which is a new basketball tournament that our staff hosts. That's going to be in Gainbridge Fieldhouse this year. We have Purdue and Arizona tipping off on December 16th. So it's going to be a big one. And it's in its 2nd year. So it's fairly new to the city. It's new to us, but we're trying to really build something with that. So hopefully you're thinking, what's next for you? So some ways to advocate is following us on social media, check out our website. We're always updating with what's new on the website. It's super easy to find us. I put the hyperlink and our handle for social at the top there. And then also, of course, volunteering. So when you visit our website, you can register. And we also will provide you the code later on in this presentation. So you can hopefully register today. You can even ask Louis about his experiences with us, because I know he's been here for so long, and we really appreciate our volunteers and want to make sure that we're providing a good experience for you. But I like to detail out a little bit about our volunteer program. So we do have a general, most basic level of volunteering that includes individuals, or if somebody wants to get a group of their friends together, they just pick whatever shift they want. They come and join us at random. It's not an organized group or anything, and that's up to them. They can come as they are. The second and more elevated role is what we call self-recruited. So as we build rapport with different groups, student organizations, so on and so forth, we'll start inviting specific groups to represent Sports Corp at the larger scale events where we know we can trust them. And they're usually pretty front-facing with clients, guests, fans, and we just want to make sure we can represent ourselves the best we can. And then the head honcho of the entire volunteer program is the local organizing committee. So these are very specific invites. As you develop rapport as an individual, you can have the opportunity to join our planning committees. There is an application process that our director of engagement oversees, and she helps facilitate all of that. So anyone that I recommend to her, I kind of just send off to Ashley, and she figures out what works best. And finally, if you know any young folks, usually students are very interested in our internships, so I did want to put this out there. Our internships just opened today, actually, for spring and summer. So because of how big our schedule is next year, and we'll walk through that here shortly, we are actually doing a 2-semester internship, which is not normal for us. So students can actually stay with us through the spring and summer. So they get to experience All-Star, NCAA championships, and trials next summer. I included the application deadlines too, in case anyone wanted to take note. So overall, the volunteer benefits, I think, speak for themselves, but just wanted to highlight a few. Event experience, it's very interactive. We want to put you out where you want to be in front of the fans, if that's your comfort level. If you'd rather be like doing the check-in process with volunteers, there's opportunities to do that as well. It also acts like as a team bonding experience, because you can do group or individual opportunities and just meet other people in the community. Of course, professional networking, a lot of our stakeholders are also volunteering at our events, so it's not just general volunteers, like you're working alongside a paying member or corporate partners, because they're all very engaged with what we're doing. Of course, leadership opportunities, as I spoke on those LOCs, and the class and community credit, in case, again, you know any young people that are looking for that as they go through their college experience. Exclusive event apparel is always a big thing. We do have very event-specific uniforms that we're required to wear, so it's something cool and it's a good talking point after the event. And finally, I'm starting to build a volunteer appreciation level of our program. So as people start attending and building up hours, they are rewarded with exclusive invites to our events that we're hosting outside of traditional event time. So for example, the past year I've hosted a lunch and learn, so it was a panel of various leaders in the community. I've also hosted a volunteer night at the Helium Comedy Club, which was unique and different. So we hadn't done that before and it was really fun. So we're trying to keep building on that. So you guys can build more of a community when you're not volunteering. Well, going into the schedule for the end of 2023, we actually have a couple of events that have tickets on sale. We don't have any like volunteer needs essentially. State of Sports is October 17th. We'll be honoring Rowdy Gaines and Michael Phelps and just showing off what they've done in the sports industry in the community and how well they've represented us. So if you would like to join, we can definitely send out the ticket link, but that's coming up just in a few short weeks. December 2nd, we have Big Ten Football Championship Weekend. That does require volunteers, so that shift actually went live today in case you would like to check it out. And then December 16th, we have Indy Classic that I had mentioned earlier. Tickets are on sale, so feel free to come check out Purdue and Arizona tip-off on that Saturday. 2024 is the big kahuna. We have NBA All-Stars starting in February. And then we roll into NCAA events, so that includes the first and second rounds, men's swimming and diving championships for D1, and then we have the National Invitation Tournament as well. And then looking ahead to June 24, we have the Olympic team trials for swimming, and that will be hosted in Lucas Oil Stadium. And then also hosted in the stadium, the Big Ten returns on December 7th of next year. So. This is not probably everything that we will be hosting, but definitely a good starting point in case you're looking for opportunities. All right, well, I did provide a QR code that leads to our registration platform called Rosterfy, so you can create an account, get in our system, and then you're notified of all upcoming volunteer opportunities. It's also a good way to just start tracking what hours you're volunteering as well, because we have that capability now. Also, those business cards that I pointed out earlier, those also have the QR code, so you can just take that home with you if you can't get this to work right now. But I think that's everything. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging out here. But thank you all for joining us and coming to our office. We don't really get to show off our office too often, so I hope you enjoyed the view.
Thank you very much.